All right, welcome to today's presentation PowerPoint on identity. I mixed things up a little bit this time. I'm not doing a circle, I'm doing pictures and show and tell, so I'm keeping things fresh. I want to talk about 2026 goals, specifically your identity and what your goals and identity mean. 2026 should not be about goal setting, it should be a shift of identity. So you should be focusing on becoming the person that you want to be at the end of the goal rather than having at the end of the year, rather than having the goals. What that means is if you reverse engineer a person in your head, the end vision, the end project, I want to be this person, and that person in your head, we reverse engineer it. So what do you want to be? And we're going to talk about that to make that your identity and a lifestyle more than an actual goal setting, chasing that you're trying to fit into your lifestyle. We make it your lifestyle, don't fit it into your lifestyle. So you have to identify what you want to be and where you are and what that person is. And that could look something like, I want to be the person that works out 2 to 3 times a week, that has a healthy lifestyle and good nutrition choices, and doesn't stay up too late and gets to sleep, for example. It's a very comfortable, easy to maintain system and identity shift. And right now you're the person that's doom scrolls, that has poor sleep, that's someone who doesn't prioritize working out because they don't have time. Time is an excuse and overwhelm. And it is, but that's because it's not your identity. Your current identity is someone who doesn't have the time. So we have to shift that and we have to change that. And it's kind of divided into these kind of pillars, these segments, these categories, if you will, of good habits, of recovery, of fitness, systems, and dopamine. And they all have one thing in common, that identity shift equals I had to think about that. I think I had a stroke. Sacrifice. I think my brain just had a small stroke for a second there. There we go. So your identity shift will require sacrifice, this big scary word that we don't like often. So we're going to take it one at a time. Again, no particular order. For some reason, all my videos are in a circular, triangular form. I guess that's my thing now. So we're going to run with it. So good habits and bad habits. So everything has a cost. Your doom scrolling is a habit that you have, and you are sacrificing your health or eating right or sleeping, whether you want to admit it or not, or whether you see it, but that's what happens, right? If you're staying up too late, you're sleeping less. So the habit of doom scrolling is sacrificing your sleep. You could switch it around and you could sacrifice your doom scrolling and increase the habit of sleeping longer and better. That's what a person with healthy fitness mindset and recovery takes in. That's where these two come in. Good habits could look like the person who is snacking and hungry all the time is picking up healthier options or getting a cup of coffee or water instead of grabbing snacks on the go because they are hungry. That is a habit. That is something that is wired into you, probably out of habit because of stress, lack of thought, lack of preparation. So we have to get better at habits. It's the same with the sleep, like I just said, or recovery. It's such an important part because you are sacrificing your sleep by staying up too late, by going out on the weekends and partying maybe, because you could go out and you could sacrifice the night and not stay out till 3 in the morning or 5 in the morning. You could go home at, I don't know, midnight and sleep a little bit better, recover a little bit better. You don't have to drink 10 shots. You could do 2 drinks, 2 glasses of wine, for example. That is a sacrifice of your fun, if you want to call it that. That will become an identity shift. So a lot of people, a lot of fitness people, me included, we are all probably somewhat ADHD, dopamine driven, and dopamine is there as well, one way or another. It's all very interlinked. And we love a good time out, we love a good night out, but we also kind of make a sacrifice. We know that if we want to stay on our habits and our routines, that if you go out, your training will suck. But I can control some things, like how much I drink and how much food I eat the night out, if I need to eat any junk food at all. That way I'm still within like my healthy lifestyle zone, but I've sacrificed more drinking or eating junk food. That is a sacrifice I'm willing to take, essentially. So that's an important part. And when you identify someone who is in fitness and working out, you have to identify that person, because if you look at fit people, it's a lifestyle. They identify themselves as someone who pays attention to their strength training, to their nutrition, to their recovery, to all of these things. They have a system. Their dopamine is in check. They get dopamine from natural sources, not necessarily just caffeine or partying or other things like brain doom scrolling, for example. That is what makes and shapes your identity. So 2026's motto is building systems, which was a video I've talked about it before, to create a better version and a better identity of you and who you want to be. So you just have to figure out a way to reverse engineer or have an idea of where you want to end up in the year. And it could be very small. You don't have to go crazy big if it's, especially if you're a beginner or trying to make a lot of changes. And it will be boring because boring drives systems and consistency. And a lot of us hate boredom and a lot of us are restless. That's where the dopamine chasing comes in, excuse me. And dopamine is an important factor because everything is dopamine driven in our dopamine wired little brains now. From what's the attention span of a TikTok now? 10 seconds, 12 seconds, 3 seconds is the hooks we have when we make content. Otherwise, you guys lose our content and you don't see it. So maybe the hook wasn't even good in the video here. I might need to do a better hook next time. The point is, you need to find natural ways to fuel your dopamine with natural sources. Ice baths are a really great way to naturally raise your dopamine. Getting enough sleep. Finding something that stimulates your brain is the best thing you'll ever do. For me, it was taking my business and my coaching, my career seriously. Once I did that, I've got such a natural surge of dopamine to do better, to perform better, to become a better human and teach better, that I no longer need to find dopamine anywhere else because I am fulfilled. And then, of course, I have my moments on the weekends, maybe, or once in a while, I'll lose it or chase something else, and then I have to kind of set myself back and ground myself and find my position. But the point is, before I continue rambling on, because I could talk about this for 10 million more hours, for 2026, the goal is to create an identity that you want to end with, set that as a goal, and become that person. Anyways, I hope you found this useful. If you did, leave a comment. Check out the guides in the bio. I think that's what people say. And I'll catch you in the next one.